June 6, 1944. Shortly after dawn. La Roche-Guyon, France. Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt, the commander of Germany's forces in Western Europe, stands inside his headquarters as frantic telephone calls pour in from Normandy. Reports contradict one another. Airborne troops are appearing behind German lines. Coastal batteries have fallen silent. Bridges are disappearing. Radio messages arrive broken, delayed, or not at all. Outside the Atlantic Wall, the immense defensive system Hitler promised would crush any invasion is under attack. But something is deeply wrong. The Allied assault is not simply breaking through German defenses. It seems to know exactly where those defenses are weakest. For months, Rundstedt believed the Atlantic Wall would force the enemy into a bloody failure. Instead, every German reaction appears anticipated before it begins. Every reinforcement arrives too late. Every counterattack runs into unexpected resistance. The defenders seem to be reacting to an enemy that is always one step ahead. One question grows impossible to ignore. How can an invading army understand Germany's greatest fortress better than the man responsible for defending it? The answer stretches back months before the first Allied soldier sets foot on the beaches of Normandy. It is a story of deception, intelligence, reconnaissance, and one of the greatest strategic failures of the Second World War. A story that even Rundstedt would later acknowledge with remarkable honesty. The Atlantic Wall stretches nearly 2,400 miles, from Norway to the Spanish border. On paper, it is one of the largest defensive systems ever constructed. Thousands of bunkers, artillery positions, minefields, anti-tank obstacles, and flooded lowlands are intended to make an Allied landing impossible. But Rundstedt knows the uncomfortable truth. The wall is far from complete. Germany simply lacks the concrete, steel, labor, and time needed to finish such an enormous project. Many sectors remain lightly defended, despite Hitler's confident promises. Experienced divisions have been transferred to the Eastern Front. Others are rebuilding after years of relentless combat. Along much of the French coastline, static divisions composed of older soldiers and foreign conscripts occupy positions never designed to withstand a massive invasion. Then comes Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. After inspecting the coast in late 1943, Rommel reaches a grim conclusion. Allied air superiority means German reserves may never reach the beaches. If the invasion is not crushed immediately, Germany may never recover. Rommel orders millions of additional mines laid. Beaches are covered with steel obstacles. Wooden stakes, anti-tank barriers, and underwater explosives appear along the shoreline. Nearby farmland is deliberately flooded to trap Allied airborne troops before they can organize. Rundstedt disagrees. Drawing on decades of military experience, he believes the decisive battle should be fought inland by powerful armored reserves rather than at the shoreline. The disagreement grows into one of the German High Command's greatest strategic disputes. Hitler refuses to fully support either plan, splitting command of the panzer divisions between competing headquarters. The result is confusion at the worst possible moment. Meanwhile, across the English Channel, Allied planners launch one of history's greatest deception campaigns. Operation Fortitude convinces German intelligence that the real invasion will strike at Pas-de-Calais. Fake armies, inflatable tanks, dummy landing craft, false radio traffic, and carefully controlled double agents reinforce the illusion. Even after Allied troops storm Normandy on June 6, 1944, many German commanders remain convinced the landings are only a diversion. As the battle unfolds, Allied aircraft isolate the battlefield by destroying bridges, railways, and communications. German reinforcements crawl forward under constant attack while Allied intelligence continues to exploit captured documents, aerial photography, French resistance reports, and intercepted communications. Years later, Rundstedt reportedly reflects on the campaign with striking honesty. The Allies, he admits, appeared to know the Atlantic Wall better than he did. It is more than a personal confession. It is an acknowledgement that modern warfare had become a battle of intelligence as much as guns, tanks, and concrete. The Normandy landings secure a foothold that Germany never manages to erase. Within weeks, Allied forces break out from the beaches, liberate Paris, and begin the long advance toward the German border. The Atlantic Wall, built at enormous cost and promoted as an impenetrable fortress, fails to stop the invasion it was designed to prevent. Rundstedt remains one of Germany's most experienced commanders, but even he cannot overcome divided leadership, flawed strategy, and Allied control of intelligence, logistics, and the air. The overwhelming strength of the Atlantic Wall proves meaningless when its defenders are outplanned before the battle even begins. After the war, historians increasingly agree that the Atlantic Wall was never defeated by concrete alone. It was defeated by deception, preparation, and superior planning. Rundstedt's reported admission stands as one of the most revealing assessments of Germany's failure on D-Day, highlighting how intelligence became as decisive as tanks, artillery, or fortifications. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of World War II's most fascinating strategic failures, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us continue bringing carefully researched military history to life. Because in war, the strongest fortress is rarely the one built from concrete. It is the one built on information. And on the beaches of Normandy, that truth changed the course of history forever.